Good morning. My name is Terry Morgan. It is Wednesday, April 22nd. It's Earth Day, and welcome to my mid-morning stretch. I'm going to go adjust the camera, which I just forgot to do. Being as how I'm running the studio and I'm presenting, I get to do pretty much everything. So it's a good thing. I'm having a good time with it. Some things are done a little more better than others. A little more better, yeah, right. Um, some things I managed to get done better than others, and other things I'm still working on, and that's part of being live. Here we are. So we have a couple of stretches that are basic, just a basic circle. I did something to my back yesterday. So what you will see me do today, and what you may have seen me do on Monday, and what you may see me do on Friday, probably will be a little bit different. So what's going to happen is the extent of my movement is going to be a little bit different for all of the circles. The key to doing them correctly, and I've said this on a couple of things, the key to doing these exercises correctly is not whether or not you can touch your nose to your knees, or or the floor, or whatever else you're going to touch. It's whether or not you're putting your body in harmony with all of the other body parts that you have in doing the movement, so that it's continuous and engages your whole body. So let's get started. I'm going to step back here. Yes, it's good to have feet. Cat, she's really, really good about finding the middle of the room and staying there, which is where I need to be. Yeah, told you. Right back there. Now I'm here now. Yeah, you can be up there. All right. Feet about shoulder width apart. Okay, and this is big outward circle. So stretch out over the legs, bend the knees, and circle back up. Okay, and again, I'm going to talk about this quite a bit today. The extent of my movement today is going to be much less. Yep, that's about it. That's about it. Alright, now as I keep doing this, it's going to get more. But the point of my doing this, right, is not to demonstrate my current limited mobility. It's to demonstrate that it doesn't matter whether you have more or less. What matters is, am I making this a smooth, continuous movement? Am I engaging my legs? Look, I got further over. Ha ha ha. Am I engaging my legs, right? If I try to force this, if I try to force myself, I'm gonna go touch the floor, I'm gonna go do this, I know I can do it, yes, I will hurt myself, right? I may not feel it right this minute, but it will hurt later, and I don't want that. So and notice that I just released a couple things in my lower back. I moved my legs, right? So as I do this more slowly, I can gradually build that up so that at the end of the day, or at the end of the set, I've increased the range even compared to what I had when I started the set, right? So, I'm going to do this one more time as I pull up. And so this is going to be a good thing to go back and look at later, to be able to see, yep, just release that lower back thing again. Yes, I did. I'm going to talk about that. And this is the last time. And I'm not all the way down yet, but I'm a whole lot closer than I was when I started. All right. All the way up. Stretch up. And elbows, wrists, fingertips, drop down. So I am going to talk a little bit more today than I normally would, because I am going to ask you to pay attention to this. I'm going to record it. It's recorded, so we're paying attention. I'm paying attention to it. This is something that I have come back to time and again. Anytime you do anything, there's potential to not do it quite the way you should have. Okay? So my injury from yesterday was I was fixing the gutter out back, and I had a piece of gutter that needed to be pushed onto the piece of gutter that was coming off the house. And I pushed, and I was turned just a little bit off. And when I pushed, I felt something in my back that I shouldn't have felt. And I knew. Yeah, shouldn't have done that. Now, noticing that, I could have continued to do what I was doing. I could have ignored it. In this case, I knew better. I had an injury back in January, and it was way bad, so I knew. And I said, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to stop. I stopped. I relaxed for several hours. Warm. Actually, I didn't put a heating pad on it this time. Put a warm blanket. Right? Took all the weight off of it. Laid down, warm blanket. And today I'm actually doing pretty good. So, as we just saw, all right, I started out, I'm here, and that's about it. That's my circle. That's where I'm going. That's as far down as I'm going. By the time we finished, I'm down to about right here is where it starts to bother me. All right, so I'm now considerably further over than in that circle. The extent of my movement is considerably more than it was when I started. That's what you want. That's what you want. This isn't a must do it this way kind of a thing. These stretches are something that I've worked with for 40 years. They inform my Tai Chi, my Qigong, Bagua, Xing, all of my practices. And I found them to be extremely useful. So they're not, you have to do it this way, you have to do it that way. It's what are you trying to do? And what are you going to succeed in doing, right? So what am I trying to do? If I'm going to try and make this circle, I want a circle, not a box, circle. Okay, so that means I'm going to pull up here, reach out, Make this as round as possible. Okay? I could make it square, 1 and 2 and 3. Okay, I'm not going over for that one. Okay, but I can do that flat back move, just not today. And so it could be a very square move. What we want for this exercise is not a square move, we want a round move. Right, so this one is round. The more I can engage my legs, the less I have to rely on my lower back. The more I can engage my ribs, right back here, the less I have to rely on my lower back. So if I've engaged here, and I've engaged this, all this has to do is hold. It just sits there, just hold. Not really doing anything today. And I emphasize that today, because today is not the same as tomorrow. What I can do today is not going to be the same as what I can do tomorrow. Right? That's this developmental learning that I've talked about, that I may be able to do something okay today. Tomorrow I may be able to do it fairly well. The day after tomorrow I could do it really well. It's a building process. It's not an instant, yeah, tomorrow I could do something else and not be able to do much more than stand here and talk. Let's do some floor work. Yeah, getting up and down is more of a challenge today. But, and now, I'm going to say this again, and Kat needs to move. I'm going to say this again. The idea that today is different than yesterday and tomorrow will be different than today is, yeah, philosophically it's really kind of important, but from the standpoint of training and athletic training, body work, any kind of developmental work where you're trying to develop skills that can't be rote learned, like I know this fact, so now I know it. You may know that you're supposed to do this circle, but not be quite there with it just yet. So it takes practice, it takes development of that skill. I have my left leg in, foot's on the floor, right leg is to the outside, again, foot on the floor, both knees as close to the floor as possible. Press down on the knee just a little bit as you lean forward. That's cat. Okay. And then gently rock back and forth. Keep your legs on the floor. So this stays on the floor. Pull up through the ribs. What I was just talking about, pull up through the ribs and through the hips. Keep the hips pulled up so that the hip is open. Right? Leg stays on the ground, hip comes up, roll. This is really what it looks like. This is what I gotta turn my hand so you can see in the camera. This is what it looks like. This is what you're doing. You're rolling your hip over your leg. Not something that we normally think about doing. And gently, as you go forward, chin up, reach out with the chest, as if you're going to lay your chest on the floor in front of you. And one more time. Roll forward. And back. Alright, let's open this up and we'll turn to, yeah, it's taking me longer this time. Let's do this, I'm going to do this a little bit differently right now. Keep one leg, keep this leg in, put the other one out. Okay, and we're going to do the same, this is the same as what we would do if we had both legs open, except that it changes the way that the body handles the stretch, so that there's less emphasis on both hips and more emphasis only on the one for the leg that's extended. Okay, so we're going to stretch over this leg, ear to the knee, and reach out and grab a hold of your ankle. You're not pulling on your toes, you're going to pull on your ankle. Okay? So you pull on your toes. The reason you don't want to pull on your toes is a couple of different reasons. One is that it's really easy to pull your foot in an unaligned position. Right? So I'm going to reach out, I'm going to pull my toes, I pull my foot directly over my lower calf here. And my foot is flexed and it's in a fairly good position. It's easy for me to reach over and twist my foot so that it's not in that good aligned position. I don't want to do that. I don't give myself the opportunity to do that if I grab my ankle, right? And you're looking for a stretch along here and in the back of the leg anyway, not in the foot. Ear to the knee. Notice that I've got my hand on this knee, so I'm not letting this knee come up. And I'm actually using this to push. Right? Push. A lot of these kinds of stretches and a lot of the things that I do have, they're going to have an element of physics to them. Okay, so I'm going to push here to go this way, right? Simple. It's an important concept in movement generally. Physics and kinesiology and being able to direct the force and where you're going with what force and all those kinds of things. Baseball measures that. How fast can a pitcher throw? How fast does the ball go when a particular batter hits it? Right? Same kind of thing. I don't have near the speed of a fast speed pitcher, but but it's the same principle in that you're looking for where is the force, what am I going to do with it, and where does it come from? Okay? So in our Tai Chi, a lot of the force comes from the lower Tantien. Even though it appears to come from hand or foot somewhere, it's actually coming from inside the body. With our stretches, if I push down on this knee, it opens the hip, and it naturally, right? It's going to naturally push me toward my other leg. I got to go somewhere, right? My upper body has to go somewhere. It's going to go this way. I push this, it's going this way, right? And I've got my elbow now, so I pick this up, elbow to the knee. Now I'm pulling and pushing. So little pull, little push, little push, little pull, right? And you go forward, Both hands down at your sides. And I'm using my fingertips here, not my palm. I want to stabilize myself, and I want to help support my back. Again, not talk about that injury right now. I don't want to use my hands to push right now. Not this kind of a push, not a push down. I want to push up. A little bit forward, roll forward, and roll back. Forward, and back, forward, and roll back. Push up, push up, push up, push up. Yes, all right. Now, move the cat. Turn to the side. All right, both legs open. And we're going to do the side stretch, but instead of crossing the underside, my underhand here, I'm going to use my hand here to support my weight, just in case, right? This hand still comes over and stretch out, reach up, and stretch out over the leg. And reach up. And one more time. Stretch out over the leg. And reach up. We go the other side. Stretch out over the leg. Yeah, that's the side I heard. It's not going anywhere. And stretch out over the leg. And up center. And one more time. Stretch out over the leg. And come on up center. Okay. So one of the other stretches that we have, we've got this front leg here, and now I've curled my back leg so that my heel's approaching my hip. There are those days when it is touching my hip, and there are other days when not so much. This is a not so much day. But the goal is that you've got your back leg, careful with that, back leg coming up to the hip, right? And you're going to push to the opposite side. What you want to do is to open the leg. This is again, open the leg, open the hip. So the hip stays down very, very, very gently. On the leg, push down with the hand on this side. Gently, 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 gently. Oh yeah, because you'll feel it. And release. And one more. Gently. Release. And one more. Gently. And release it. Alright, other side. Cat, are you helping? Yeah, I'm helping. I can do that in my sleep. I can do those stretches in my sleep. Alright, now, I'm going to be leaning a little bit more on this side because this is the one that got hurt. So, same thing. Hand here. Push. At the same time, push here. Push up. Release it. And again, gently. Push up, push down. This pushes up, this pushes down. Open in the hip. And release it. One more time, very gently, very gently. Push up. and release it. All right, bring that leg around, and whatever position is comfortable for you to rest at the moment. All right, this one's going to be mine today. I'm going to stop here. Some of these exercises are really, really good for basic body work. If you're trying to open your body up, you're trying to get to where, I've seen this movie where they had the stunt people that could do this move, and I thought it was really cool. I'd like to be able to do it. How do I get there? How can I do that? Well, you don't enable yourself to do that by starting out with that particular level of difficulty. Starting out with something like this, it's a much less difficult thing to do. And then as you develop the skills to work your way up, do that. This is a set that I'm going to show probably another time. And I'm going to back up a second because yeah, there we go. All right. This is a set for the legs, and all you're going to do is lean back and come forward. I'm going to do this a little bit more next week, but I'm going to turn this way so you can see what I'm doing here. As I'm here, I should be straight. Okay? Legs, torso, back, everything should be straight. And I'm going to lean back. And then I can come back to straight, come back to center. I'm going to lean back, and I'm going to come back to center. As you lean back, you will feel this in the front part of your legs. It is it's one of those amazing stretches that lets you get acquainted with parts of your body that you didn't really ever know existed. I learned a lot about the small muscles in the front of my legs by doing this stretch. As you go back further, it's here. There is no opportunity to not hold your abs. As you go back, you can't. It's very much a demand on the forward, the abdominis erectus muscle, a big one that runs up and down the center of the torso, as well as all of the cross muscles that connect the ribs and the hips, the lower layers, using all of them. All right, we'll work on this one a little bit more on Friday, and hopefully we'll do some more stretches and my back will be feeling much better. It's going to take me a minute. And there is some advantage also in being able to do what I just did, okay? That the limitation that I have today, just today, for which muscles I can engage and which muscles I should leave alone, being able to work with that is something that is, well, it's probably pretty common among most athletes, but it's something that not everybody learns how to do, and we could. That's why I'm teaching. Thanks for coming. Bye.